Hi, today I would like to discuss about loans for superbike. Most of the people who want to buy a superbikes mostly think of loan, especially people who are a little middle class who buying a superbike for the first time do like to think of getting a loan that is easier in their pocket and would get they would be able to get. So the first thing when you should be thinking of a loan for superbike is either you want to go for a private bank or a public sector bank, or you want to say public sector or nationalized bank. See, for private banks, most of the companies like Triumph, Kawasaki, BMW, each one would be giving you an option for finance from their own tie-up of banks. That bank would be 99% a private sector bank. So there would be HDFC, BMW would be using BMW Financials, or ICICI, some private sector bank. So and they would be offering, they would saying 9 or 11% rate of interest. So should you go for it? I would say if you want a rather easy way, you should go for the private bank. I'm saying easy. The reason for it is easy is something that they would come to your doorstep. They will take your documents. You won't may not have to run after them. They will give you uh, after processing all your document, if you're eligible, they will give you the loan, and you would well, you would be running less towards the bank. They would be coming to you and giving all the paper, doing all the paperwork and all. But they would be charging a higher rate of interest, first of all, and secondly, you will end up paying higher interest altogether. Even though if you find the rate of interest to be on a lower side than a nationalized or a public sector bank, you would still be paying higher amount of interest overall from a public sector bank. uh, the reason for that is they charge a flat rate of interest. So flat rate of interest is something. So if you buy take a loan from a public sector bank, so what they do is if they are giving you at 9%, they will for a period of, let's say, 5 years. So they will calculate the total interest for 5 years, compounding as whatever they do, and they will give you an EMI. So even and plus, so if you start paying the EMI, so if you at some point of time think of repaying the loan earlier, you would not pay a lesser amount. You may clear it, but they would be taking the interest for the whole 5 years from you altogether. They would not be leaving their interest because you are repaying them early, and plus they may also take a foreclosure charges for maybe 2 or 3%. The difference and what public sector bank offers is you get I would say a declining interest repayment. So if you are taking a loan from them and you start repaying the EMI, what happens is there's a certain principal component and there is a certain interest component. So if you say your EMI is 5,000, so they may be around 50%, 50 to 60% interest component and 40% principal component. So if it's a 5,000 EMI and you pay, let's say, 10,000 once, so what would they would do is they would first satisfy the interest, then pay the principal, and the excess amount that you have given would be contributed toward the principal. So again, the next interest that is levied would be levied on the lesser amount of principal altogether. So if you pay more, you altogether get to pay a lower interest altogether. And if you prepay early, you won't have to pay the total interest that would be levied. You would only have to pay interest that is applicable at that point of time. Plus most of the banks, public sector bank, do not have foreclosure charges, so you save also on that. The downside is you would have to go to the bank yourself, present them with the documents, and their processing may take time, maybe week or 2 weeks. But you would get a lower rate of interest, that is floating rate of interest. As of now in COVID, you may if you have a regular salary, it's the best time to buy because the rate of interest are pretty low at this point of time because of certain macroeconomic conditions. So you would get a lower rate of interest, and you can repay easily. So what I would say, what all document is needed? See, most of the public sector bank do not have a separate scheme for financing superbikes. So they considered it under two-wheeler scheme. So two-wheeler scheme, some banks have limited themselves to financing only up to 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs. Some banks have kept it open to finance to any amount possible. So you would have to approach the bank saying that you want a two-wheeler loan, and the cost of the two wheelers is something 8, 10, whatever lakhs you wanted, and you want this amount of loan. So what all documents would be required from you would be your salary slip, or if you are in a business, then your VAT returns and all, and just GST returns. And second thing should be your CIBIL. CIBIL is something that is kind of your credit score. If you have taken loans in previously and you've repaid them on time or before time, your CIBIL score would be good. And so CIBIL score should be above a certain threshold that the banks decide themselves. So you got salary slip, you got your income tax ITR returns, then you got your CIBIL score, then you need your address proof. Mostly Aadhaar does it for it, a passport, Aadhaar, electricity bill, anything goes for it. You want your PAN number, plus you want your invoice I would say, your basically the quotation that you have gotten from the dealership. And I think this is all what you will need in the initial phase. And plus the finance would be mostly limited to, I would say, 85% or 80%, max to max 90% of the total amount including registration and all. And that's it. You may take, it may take time, but you would get a better deal for that. If you need anything in terms of getting a loan from bank, what all should you do before that, you can write it in the comments.